So we're going to get into how Governor Newsom, is trying to raise money by just, all he's doing is attacking the other side and he's raising money. So Grifter Newsom, is launching this campaign for democracy. We're going to watch this nearly 2-minute video of how he's trying to raise money to, fight back and by attacking the Republicans. Watch this.
Let's be direct. We can't solve a problem without first identifying it. And the problem in our country right now? Authoritarian leaders who are so hell-bent on gaining power and keeping it by whatever means necessary that they're directly attacking our freedoms in state after state. That's why I'm launching the Campaign for Democracy. We're going on the road to take the fight to states where freedom is most under attack, where Republican leaders ban books, criminalize doctors, fire teachers, intimidate librarians, kidnap migrants, target trans kids, stoke racism, condone anti-Semitism, force the victims of rape and incest to carry their attacker's baby, where they ignore the will of the people. They make it harder to vote and easier to buy assault weapons. They fan the flames of culture wars to distract from the fact that blue states have lower murder rates, better healthcare outcomes, and higher GDPs. We're going to these states and investing in people and organizations where they're fighting back. We know we have a big battle coming, which is why we'll help lead the fight to make sure we elect leaders in 2024 who believe in democracy. Our country is facing an existential battle for who we are and who we're willing to become. It's not an exaggeration. That's the truth. What's happening in those red states? It's not who we are. It's un-American. It's undemocratic. And all it takes to fight back is a willingness to stand toe to toe and say enough. That's what the Campaign for Democracy is all about. We're doing this because, the future isn't just something that happens to us. It's something we can create. So join the movement. Join us at campaignfordemocracy.com.
Wow. There might be only 2 things in that entire 1 minute and 51 seconds that were actually somewhat true. 2 things out of everything that he just said. The first thing that he said that was true was how Republican lawmakers are trying to, it's the abortion topic, trying to force victims of rape to carry their baby. I get it. The pro-life stance is that the baby is innocent and should not be murdered. Punish the rapist all you want. Throw the rapist in jail. Do whatever you want. I get it. It's a very, very, very tough and delicate subject. We're not going to get into that. But he's using that to invoke fear. To raise money. Grifting. He's grifting. So credit to the one thing in there that's true that he said. Republican lawmakers, I'm sure, are trying to protect babies who are from a rape, right? And the other thing that he said that was true was Republican lawmakers are making it harder to vote. Thank you, Republican lawmakers, for making it harder to vote. Yeah, thank you. Because there is so much fraud that's going on. Here in California, we have universal mail-in ballots where it's super easy to vote. Not only is it super easy to vote, but it's super easy for political operatives to go door to door and collect ballots. So yes, it should be harder to vote. Yes, there should be voting in person. Yes, there should be voter ID. Yes, there should be clean voter rolls. Yes, it should not be super easy to vote. So yeah, it is true that Republican lawmakers are making it harder to vote, and I agree with that. Now let's go over his tweet here. So he's launching, everything here is saying is false. I'm launching this new organization, Campaign for Democracy, to grift off of Republican lawmakers and invoke... I'm sorry. No, that's not what he's saying. America is in an existential struggle for democracy. Okay, first things first. We are not a democracy, Gavin Newsom. Hello, everybody. We in America are not a democracy. It's false. Every time every politician, either on the right or left, says we're in a democracy, we are not a democracy. Why? A democracy, plain and simple, is 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what to eat for lunch. A democracy is 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what to eat for lunch. Obviously, the wolves are going to vote to eat the sheep. And the sheep is S-O-L. The sheep is S-O-L. Because in a democracy, the majority wins. In a democracy, that's it. The majority wins. So if 51% of the people want to, infringe on the rights of 49%, they can in a democracy. If 99% of the people says, oh, that person needs to die, So bad. But in a republic, in a country like us, a constitutional republic where we're not a democracy, it doesn't matter if the two wolves vote to eat the sheep. The sheep has a right to life that is endowed by our Creator. And that right to life overrides the will of the majority. So more so than that, here in America, we have checks and balances in governments. On the federal level, we have 3 branches of government: the executive branch, the legislative branch, the judicial branch. We have different levels. We have the federal government, we have state governments, we have local governments, county governments. There are checks and balances all over the place. Now, yes, there's a democratic process to who we elect to represent us. Obviously, the majority wins. That's like the only democratic part of our country where the majority in any given election wins that seat for any whatever office. But even president, it's 270 votes in the Electoral College to win. And it's a good thing that we are not a democracy. Democracies suck. At the end of the day, they suck. They really do. Republics are where it's at, where there's separation of powers, checks and balances, where we have rights endowed by our creators, where it doesn't matter if the majority wants to infringe on our rights. They can't infringe on the rights and the power of the people. And that's why democracies suck. Let's keep reading his tweet here. Extremist Republicans are systematically attacking the very foundations of our free society, denying women equality. Okay, so obviously this goes back to the abortion thing. If you are against abortion, then you're denying women's equality. We're not going to get into that. Attacking communities of color. I haven't seen anything on how Republicans are attacking communities of color. Fetishizing weapons of war. Kind of went over the point of the Second Amendment earlier in this podcast and why it's so important to have a gun, why it's so important to be able to protect yourselves. Banning books. The only books that I saw that Republicans are banning are things like genderqueer, explicitly sexual pornographic material in schools. That's the books that I see that are being banned in schools. Restricting speech. This is the thing that got me. Gavin Newsom is attacking Republicans for restricting speech, but here in California, he signed AB 2098, which literally restricted the speech of our healthcare professionals if it went against the COVID narrative. The COVID narrative, it doesn't say that in the bill. Gavin Newsom, Grifter Newsom, has the gall to attack the Republicans for restricting speech when he himself signed a bill to restrict speech. That is the very definition of hypocrisy. And undermining the right to vote is what he says. Undermining the right to vote? No. The Republicans just want a few more checks and balance checks. So maybe illegal immigrants don't vote. So maybe the people who shouldn't be voting, who aren't citizens of this country, shouldn't be voting. Maybe so there's no dead people voting, no illegal immigrants voting. Can we have that at least? Yeah, I suppose the Republicans are undermining the right for dead people to vote and the quote-unquote right for illegal immigrants to vote. Gavin Newsom, what a disgusting person he is. Do not fall for this. Do not fall for this. It's absolutely disgusting. Restricting speech. And all he's doing in that ad is attacking the other side to raise money. Grifting. Bernie Sanders does it. Gavin Newsom has done it. And he's counting on your ignorance. He wants you to be ignorant. He wants you to not pay attention so you can donate to him and be afraid of those extremist MAGA Republicans, which I don't agree with everything that they're doing. I saw something about how some GOP lawmakers are cutting funding for libraries in Wisconsin. Okay, that sounds weird. I don't agree with that. I'm sure there's more to the story, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with how Trump, the MAGA king, raised our national debt by a lot and encouraged lockdowns and wanted to lock down the country and bragged about it and said, if I didn't lock down the country, things would have been... I disagree with all of that. But what Gavin Newsom is doing is all he's doing. He's not making the case for himself. He wants you to be fearful of the other side. And that's what politicians do these days. They just attack the other side and say, hey, I'm not that person, vote for me. And both sides do it. Hey, I'm not that person, vote for me. And all everybody is doing these days is just voting against somebody else. Who here is really voting for somebody? Are you voting for somebody or are you voting against somebody else? Think about that.